Hello, and thank you for joining me for an overview of the full moon coming up on the 29th of July, 2026. This is for Eastern Standard Time, and it will be happening exactly at 10:35 in the morning. So, again, Eastern Standard Time. Now, I want to go ahead and cover some things before we get started. Yes, the sun does rule Leo. Yes, it will be conjunct Jupiter. Yes, it will be opposed, of course, the moon. Both of these planets will be opposed to the moon and to Pluto. I want to go ahead and also talk about the deacons that both of these planets are in because they are in the designated first decan of their sign. Both of these planets are in the first decan of their signs. So the first decan of Aquarius is Venus. The first decan of Leo is Saturn. Now, you can think of the deacons as being kind of the foundation as to how that influence manifests within the real world. If you viewed this as a tug of war, which it kind of is, you have the footing, the structure beneath the sun and Jupiter to be Saturn, which is in its fall in Aries, and it's also retrograde. So think of that as somebody who's traversing difficult terrain that they are unfamiliar with while blindfolded. So they have to move slowly and they have to submit to the territory which they are on. They are at the territory's mercy. Venus is in detriment. I'm sorry. Venus in Virgo is in detriment. Both of these planets involved, or all four of these planets involved in the full moon, they are in a domicile ruled by a planet that is in detriment or in the fall. So, really not in a good position. Now, will I say that I actually think the sun is in a better position? Yes. So, if you're a boss, if you're a leader, if you're someone who might be in a situation where it's a push pull situation with an employee, you may have the upper hand initially. However, you are in the very early, the first domicile of your sign, and as the sun and Jupiter are are in transit, yikes, are in transit through the sign of Leo, this is going to continue. So this influence will not end until both are out of Leo. You have to understand this. So take this. This is the very beginning. If it was happening at the end of a sign, I would say it was in the last deacon. I would then say there isn't going to be a lingering influence, but there is going to be a lingering influence. So if you're an employee, right, and you might have a problem with your employer, if there's a push and a pull, again, this is not financial advice, this is not work advice. I would also say in general, this might be for the overarching, like, or macrocosm of people in the United States, where again the government is represented by the sun, corporations are represented by Jupiter, the people are represented by the moon, and I would say that the current tech industry is actually represented, or rather, the underlying issues with the current tech industry are represented via Pluto, which is also in retrograde. So while it may seem that the government and the corporations are temporarily in a better position, again, if you're a boss, if you're a leader of some sort, yes, you will have a better position right now. You are in a better position right now to take action. But understand, whatever actions you take are going to have a lingering influence. So be mindful of that before you take them. This is a good time, I would say, if there's something with loose ends. And again, we're in Mercury retrograde shadow. Take that into account. It's a period of time that I wouldn't call volatile, but as we move into August, there's going to be tension. And don't let that tension become what defines the rest of Leo season, you see. So this is not going to be one and done, said and done. I'll just wait for the new moon. No, 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 no. Both of these planets are going to carry this influence until they are both out of Leo. The same goes for Jupiter, for Pluto and Aquarius. However, it will retain this so long as these two planets are in Leo. Why? Because this is a major, major, major setup. Whenever you see during a full moon a planet conjunct one of the luminaries, and it's close enough not to be Kazemi, that affects that basically blends both of their energies, and whenever it is Jupiter, it expands. So when it is opposed to this, think of this, they are going to have a lingering effect on Pluto. Pluto will carry this influence until both are out of Leo, which is not going to be for a couple months. So just keep that in mind. I think I want to be careful because I don't want to give financial advice. And don't take this as financial advice because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. No one does. There is a possibility that there could be some disruption with technology. Now, today we saw Mercury go stationary, right? And we saw the PlayStation Network and PlayStation as well as Sony have been having some big issues. They decided to make an announcement that they were ending support for physical media in 2028 during Mercury retrograde, which was a horrible idea. And if I was going to make an announcement, I would do it. I would not do that during a Mercury retrograde. But then we see whenever Mercury goes stationary, suddenly their PlayStation Network goes down. It goes down. So there are people who no longer can access their digital media, as if this is kind of an indicator as to why physical media is so important. I want to actually do in the future an overall or an overview of an astrological overview of Sony and PlayStation. I think that would be actually a little bit, that'd be kind of fun from an astrologer standpoint. Now, do I think that this is going to be a bad time? No. I think this is going to really just be a full moon full of tension, but not much disruptions. Or not many disruptions. You do have Saturn right now squaring Mercury. Saturn is so weakened that I really don't think it's going to have any kind of effect on Mercury. If anything else, Mercury is going to have an effect on Saturn. So as it goes stationary, as it does today, and as it clears its shadow, it's still going to have some influence of Mercury retrograde. Please understand, a Mercury retrograde shadow does not mean, or as it clears the shadow, it does not mean we've cleared Mercury retrograde. It's not going to clear until roughly the middle of August. So be prepared for that. We are out of the worst of it, but that influence still lingers. So there you go. That's what I wanted to cover. Thank you all for watching. I am going to do some more videos immediately after this. Thank you all. Please stay tuned.